Good morning, traders. This is Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass for a morning look at markets for Tuesday, August 11th. Starting with the SPY 30-minute chart, you can see that we have been working our way up into a narrowing rising wedge. Yesterday, we made a push up right off the open and then dropped down. I was thinking that price would come back here to 332.40, but it didn't. It stopped a little short of that and then made a move higher into the close, yet still below this 335.62. Now for today, we're up about 20 handles up in this area. Of course, that'll leave a gap below that'll need to get filled at some point. This 338 level was a measured move target that we took off of a bull flag earlier in the sequence. So for today, I think any backfill of the opening gap that holds at 335.62, I think you can buy that and try to stay long and look for a move back up to 338. If, however, price drops below this 335.62, I would be a little bit cautious. And if it were to drop below 334.33 right here, I would be definitely leaning on the short side for a move back to 332.40. And then from there, if it goes lower, whatever, stay short. We've still got numerous gaps below to fill, but the market's been strong. I think it needs to go up and tag the all-time high at least, and then we'll take it from there. So as it stands, bullish. Watch for that opening gap. They love to just flush it out and fill it right off the bat, so be ready for that, especially if you want to be a dip buyer at 335.62. Let's move on to the Qs. They've been soggy the last few days, but they're up with the market this morning. We had this nice trend line coming up. We stalled at 274.64, and then on Friday we sold off, came back to back touch this 270 level, which is a key pivot level to my eye. Made a little bounce into the close, and then yesterday morning they sold it off right away, pushed into this open gap here, and then bounced into the close. We are opening, or we're set to open just above this 271.50 area. That again will of course leave a little gap from yesterday's close. I think if it holds 271.50, you can be a buyer there. If it comes back to 270, you could certainly buy there with a tight stop below. But I would be bearish below 270. We've got a series of lower highs and lower lows. I really want to see 271.50 hold this little swing high before getting all excited and getting long. If that holds this morning, fine, be long against it, and then look for a push back up to this 275 area. So IWM has been doing really well lately. I'm sure you're aware of the big push into value as money rotates out of the Qs and into these more cyclical names where IWM has a lot of exposure. I've got this intermediate trend line that's doing a really nice job following up these pullbacks. Yesterday morning we had a big push followed by a drift lower. So that basically sets up as a bull flag formation. If you look at it, I don't have it boxed in. But if we can get above 158.50, I think there's a good chance that we just go ahead and pop 160 and move up towards 161, which just eyeballing it looks like would be a measured move target up in this area. If we drift a little lower against this trend line, I think that's a good objective place to try a long with a stop just below, say 157. If price breaks down from this intermediate trend line, I think you're looking at coming in for a back touch of this 155. And if you missed all this yesterday, I think 155 is going to be a good dip location. We've got a bigger trend line that comes up here. So we've got dual support levels here at 155. I'd be a motivated buyer right there with a stop just below for that back test, and then a push back up to 160. So I really like that setup. But if the value trade is for real, IWM is going to remain strong. Inside the profit compass this morning, I posted a 4-hour chart of IWM, and above 160, the next level of resistance is 167.50. So this 160 level is going to be an important one to clear. And if you've been long for this ride, I think clearing 160 is a good place to reset. Move up your stops, move up your strikes, buy some more time, and then just stay long against this 160 level. I think that's going to end up being a good trade location if and when price can pop that level and hold it. Moving on to FAANGs real quick. Facebook was off about 2% yesterday. Just to my eye, above 266.60, I think you can be long. But below, I think you can lean short and look for this price to come into this 256 level. I took a brief look pre-market here, and the FAANG names look a lot better than they did yesterday. So maybe price can pop up above this and hold it, and then make another run at this 277.50 level, which is the prior high from right here. But I think 266.60 is your key level to watch, and 256 being your first support. I haven't been trading it, but Amazon has been really fun to watch as far as a technician goes. It's been just trading so well to the technicals. We've got this box drawn. Friday came up, tagged the top of the box, then made a move down to the bottom. This morning came right down to this 3100 level before getting a bounce. And on the 5-minute chart, you could just see, you can't see it here because of the intersecting lines and everything, but price was just stuck at 3150, could not get above. And all these reactions at these levels just show you that price knows where they are. I mean, 3100 came right down to tag it. I think if price this morning can get above this 3150 level, I think it's got a good chance to come up to 3200. Really $50 increments, 3150 to 3200, then 3200 to 3250. Each level opens up the next $50, and same thing below. If we were to break 3100, I think we'll come back down and fill this gap down to 3050. But it's behaving really, really well to the technicals, which is nice to see. Moving on to Apple. Price came down quickly yesterday morning to test this 443 area, held very well. and then made a push up towards the highs. I think if it can clear this 455 area, then we could get a push up towards 470. The key level to watch on this downside is that 443. And if it were to break below, I think you're going to look at this 431 area to test the bottom of this box, and then possibly the gap. But it's been strong, so I'd be favoring upside, especially if the market is cooperating. Microsoft, Friday morning, we had said, if it can hold 215, you can be long against it, looking for a push to 219. But if it broke below 215, remember what we always say, a move outside followed by a move back inside the trading range favors a move down to the bottom. That's exactly what happened. So once it broke 215, it came down to 211, got a little bounce. Then yesterday morning, they took it down again, had some little bear flag action. It's up trading around 209, 210 this morning. I got short on this candle here, and I still have it. So I'm obviously looking for a move down to fill the box. Don't know if I'm going to get it, but that's what I was shooting for. Any move back up above 211, recapturing that level, you can buy it, and then look for a move back to 215. So remember, any, break below and then recapture from below, that's a bullish move, so you can get long on any move above this 211 level, and then you'd have a really nice trade location for any move higher. Google it didn't really do much. Friday, it had the false move into the gap. Then they sold it down. Yesterday morning, they took it down here to this 1480, made a little move back up. Again, I think the key level is this gap location at 1505. If it moves back below 1490, I favor a move back down here to 1465, and then take it from there if it bounces or moves into the big prior trading range. DraftKings is one I've been kind of watching. Yesterday, the Big Ten announced they're canceling football, which is a big, revenue generator for DraftKings. Who knows what the other big conferences are going to do? But if the SEC were to pull the plug, I think you're going to see a move back down here to the bottom of this box. And that can either end up being a really nice trade location for a long, or if it breaks, coming way back down into the high teens. Because this is what is that? $10 or $11 wide box. So if we were to break it to the downside, you're looking at 18, 19, 20 in here with this support level. So I don't think you can do anything with it here. It's kind of in no man's land, but I am watching it and seeing how that trades. While I'm on the topic of casinos, all the casino names did really well yesterday, and if you're interested in the group, you could go check it out. MGM, Melco, Wynn, LVS, Churchill Downs, all those names were up nicely yesterday, and you may be interested in taking a look at those. I thought Union Pacific looked interesting, breaking out here, breaking above the March high and the June high. I think you can get long against this 185 level and look for a push, up into the low 200s. Some of the other railroads were looking good as well. Canadian Pacific, Norfolk Southern looks good, and CSX is making a move also. So the rails are moving higher. I like this chart though because it's got this emerging breakout with a tight line to shoot against. Rockwell Automation. This is a nice long setup. We've got a prior high here at 230. Got a nice picture perfect cup and handle. We talked about on the measured moves would be, 205 to 230 is $25. So on a breakout, we'd be looking at something like 255 on a measured move. So I like getting long Rockwell above 230. And I believe, check all these names, I believe earnings is passed on all of these. So, but it's always good to have a double check. Biotechs remain soggy. We've got this 135 line here. Now price is marginally below and also below the 8, 20, and 50 EMAs. I think, if there's any more of a break here, I think there's a good chance to come into this 125 area to test the 200. So I would keep an eye on that, both on the bull and bear side. We've seen it hold before. I kind of favor the downside, just given what it looks like, and testing this level multiple times. I'd be tempted. I have it alarmed. I think I have 134 alarmed for a short entry, but I think the opportunity here is pretty nice. $10 move. You could set a $2 stop and have a 5-to-1 risk reward. I think that sets up nice. This new relic we've talked about on a bracket trade. Price is now on the wrong side of 55. I'd want to watch this candle. Put in a little hammer yesterday. But I think as long as it stays below 55, anybody that's short is still looking good. I would be concerned if it broke above this 56, 57 area into this open gap. If you are short, I'd certainly be covering there. Moving on to gold. I sent out a note Friday noonish saying that I really did not like this look with the doji at the top, this parabolic type move, and then showing a little weakness. Well, gold's off 50 this morning. I think you're going to see a move back down here into the low 180s, where we've got the 20 coming in, and I think that'll be a real good test. But if it doesn't hold 182, I think we're coming back into the mid 170s just to consolidate this move. Just too much froth. I mean, it's on every magazine cover. Every analyst is long. It's going to 3,000. Just too much sentiment, and I think that's got to burn off. But I am bullish gold longer term. So I'm short on a tactical trade for this week with 190 puts. That's looking good this morning. I'll kind of see how to manage it, see where it goes today, and see if I want to go out another week or book a quick win. So I'd be leaning bearish on gold here short term, but looking for a nice long entry for going forward. Same thing with the miners. This is the gold miners. 42 here sitting on the 20 EMA is first support. And I'm quite sure that's going to break today. Come in here, maybe not today, but shortly, in for a 50 EMA test at 39. And then we'll see where that goes. Maybe down here into the 37 area would be a nice place, I think, to possibly try a long, but we'll take that up when it gets there. Notice that the PPO has rolled over, and we've got a trend line break on RSI. So all that stuff's got to bottom out first before we can think about getting long again. And that'll be a second bite at the apple for me, because I missed this part. I got this part from like 32 to in here, where I booked some profits, but I didn't get back in fast enough. So if it can come back in here, it'll be a good chance for me and others to get in long. Okay, folks, that wraps it up for this morning. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you look over in the show notes, there's places where you can visit the blog. There's a ton of good information there for aspiring traders at all levels. There's also a place to register at tradersprofitcompass.com. Once you do that, you'll get all my content 6 times a week, and I'll shoot you a link to our growing community in the trading room. We'd love to have you if you're interested in technically driven swing trading. So again, this has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. Have a good trading day, and I'll talk to you soon.